My beloved brothers and sisters, today I want to remind you of something that will bring peace to your heart and dignity to your character. In life, you will encounter people who will wrong you, insult you, betray you, or try to pull you down. Sometimes it may even be those you trusted the most. The natural instinct is to react, to respond, to defend yourself, or to try and prove them wrong. But I tell you today, do not react. Do not waste your precious time and energy on those who do not deserve it. Instead, cut them off silently. You see, silence is powerful. Silence is not weakness. It is a sign of inner strength and trust in the Almighty. When you choose not to react, you are leaving the matter to the one who sees all and knows all. The one who will deal with them far better than you ever could. Your silence protects your dignity. It shields you from unnecessary drama and from lowering yourself to the level of those who thrive on creating chaos. Ask yourself what benefit will come from reacting. Will it change the heart of the one who intends harm, or will it add fuel to the fire and take away your peace? Many times by reacting, you give them exactly what they wanted, a piece of your mind, your time, your energy. But when you remain silent, when you quietly distance yourself, you have already won. Because your focus remains on your growth, your character, your journey to the Almighty. Cutting someone off silently does not mean you hold hatred or grudges in your heart. No, it means you value yourself enough not to allow repeated harm. It means you forgive them, but you choose not to walk the same path as them. It means you understand that some people are a test in your life, and part of passing that test is to walk away with grace and leave the matter to the Almighty. Remember, my brothers and sisters, the world may not see your silence, but the Almighty sees it. And when you choose the high road, you earn rewards beyond what you can imagine. Your silence will speak volumes on the day of judgment. So, the next time someone hurts you, remember this: don't react. Cut them off silently and carry on with your life with dignity, peace, and trust in your Lord. Silence is often misunderstood by people. Many think that when a person chooses to stay silent in the face of provocation, insult, or harm, it means they are weak, that they are unable to defend themselves, or that they have no words to say. But in reality, silence in such moments is one of the greatest signs of inner strength and true reliance on the Almighty. When someone harms you, insults you, or tries to drag you into negativity, it takes immense courage to remain quiet. It is easy to respond, to lash out, or to try to prove a point. That is what most people do. But to remain silent, to hold back your tongue when it is burning with words you wish to say, to stop yourself from reacting, that takes strength that not everyone has. It shows that you have disciplined your soul and controlled your emotions. When you choose silence, you are declaring with your actions that you do not need the approval of people. You are not seeking to win arguments or to be praised by others. Rather, you are placing your trust in the Almighty, knowing that He sees what was done to you and that He will deal with it in the best and most just way. You are saying with your silence that you trust Him to defend you and to bring about what is right in His time. You are saying that your dignity is too valuable to be dragged into pointless disputes and petty quarrels. This trust brings about peace in the heart, because you know that you do not need to fight every battle yourself. The Almighty is with you, and He will never let your patience and silence go unnoticed or unrewarded. Silence is also a shield. It protects you from speaking words you might regret. How many people have said something in anger or frustration and later wished they could take it back? Words, once spoken, can never be taken back. They can cause wounds that last a lifetime. By choosing silence, you protect yourself from causing harm to others and from earning the displeasure of the Almighty. You protect your heart from filling with arrogance, because sometimes when we win an argument, we feel proud and superior. But when you are silent, you remain humble, and humility is beloved to your Lord. There is another strength in silence that many do not see. When you stay silent, you give yourself time to reflect. You give yourself time to think carefully about what has happened, to understand whether speaking would bring any benefit or whether it would simply add to the problem. Silence teaches you patience. It teaches you to wait, to hold back, and to leave matters in the hands of the one who controls all affairs. And when you do that, you will see how beautifully he sorts out your problems, how he defends you without you having to say a word. You will see how the truth becomes clear without you having to waste your breath trying to convince others. Moreover, silence is a sign of maturity. A person who is mature in their faith and in their character understands that not every situation requires a reaction. Not every insult needs a reply. Not every false accusation needs to be countered. The mature person sees beyond the moment. They think of the long-term consequences. They think of the reward from their Lord. They think of the peace of their heart and the purity of their soul. They know that reacting in anger only gives satisfaction to the one who tried to provoke them. But silence denies the wrongdoer that satisfaction. Silence shows that you are above their level. You are not affected by their negativity. You are focused on something higher and greater. The pleasure of your Lord. When you choose silence, you are freeing yourself from the trap that many fall into. You are freeing yourself from endless arguments, from bitterness, from carrying the burden of hurtful words. You are walking away with dignity intact, knowing that you did not lower yourself to the ways of those who intended harm. This is true strength. It is easy to speak. It is easy to react. But to remain silent when your heart is aching, when your ego is telling you to respond, that is strength that comes only from trusting the Almighty. It is strength that comes from knowing that your Lord will never let your silence go to waste, that He will give you something far greater in return. And so, silence becomes not just a reaction, but an act of worship. It becomes a sign of your faith and your reliance on the one who sees everything. When someone tries to harm you, hurt your feelings, or provoke you, their aim is often to get a reaction out of you. They want to see you upset, angry, or disturbed because in doing so, they feel that they have succeeded in their plan. When you react in the way they expect, you hand them power over your emotions and your peace of mind. You allow them to control how you feel, what you say, and sometimes even how you behave. Reacting gives them the satisfaction that they have influenced you, that they have managed to shake your heart or make you lose your calm. This is exactly what those who intend harm desire, to pull you down to their level, to see you entangled in anger, frustration, and arguments that drain your energy and disturb your peace. On the other hand, when you choose silence, when you choose not to respond, you take that power back. You deny them the satisfaction of seeing you disturbed. You refuse to let their negative words or actions have any effect on your inner state. Silence is a powerful shield that protects your heart and mind from becoming polluted by negativity. It keeps you in control of yourself, and that self-control is a sign of strength and wisdom. The one who can stay calm and silent in moments of provocation is far stronger than the one who wins an argument with sharp words. The world may think that reacting is strength, but in reality, true strength lies in the ability to hold back and protect your peace. When you react, especially in anger, you often end up saying things you don't mean or doing things that you later regret. This only makes the situation worse and gives the one who harmed you another opportunity to mock or harm you further. They may use your reaction against you, spreading false stories or twisting your words. But silence leaves them with nothing. It leaves no words for them to misuse, no actions for them to point at. It leaves them confused because their attempt to disturb you has failed, and it forces them to face their own actions without your reaction to hide behind. In this way, silence protects not only your peace, but also your dignity and honor. Furthermore, silence gives you the space to think clearly. When you don't react in the heat of the moment, you give yourself the chance to reflect on the best way to handle the situation. You allow yourself time to turn to the Almighty in prayer, to seek His guidance and strength, and to ask Him to deal with the one who has wronged you. This connection to the Almighty fills your heart with peace because you know that He is the best of judges and the best of planners. You trust that He will bring justice in His perfect time, and this trust keeps your heart at rest. Reacting takes you further from this peace, because it turns your focus away from your Creator and towards the person who harmed you. But silence keeps your focus where it belongs, on your Lord and on your own growth. Choosing not to react also teaches you patience and humility. It helps you rise above petty arguments and small-mindedness. It reminds you that your purpose in this world is greater than winning disputes or proving yourself right in the eyes of people. Your purpose is to please the Almighty and to protect the purity of your heart. And when you choose silence, you are doing just that. You are safeguarding your heart from hatred, from arrogance, from bitterness. You are ensuring that the harm of others does not take root inside you. This is how silence becomes a means of protecting your peace, of preserving your soul from the darkness of negativity and the pain of unnecessary conflict. In the end, it is your silence that speaks the loudest. It shows that you are not shaken by the harm of others, that your peace comes from a higher place, a place that no one can reach unless you allow them. And when you trust in the Almighty, when you leave matters to Him and guard your tongue, you will find that your silence brings you honor, while those who tried to harm you will be left with nothing but their own shame. So do not give away your power by reacting. Hold on to your silence and let it protect your peace, your dignity, and your heart. Cutting people off silently is one of the most powerful acts of self-respect and emotional protection that a person can choose. It is not about hatred or holding grudges, nor is it about arrogance or thinking that you are better than others. Rather, it is about knowing your worth, knowing what your heart can bear, and deciding not to allow yourself to be repeatedly harmed or disrespected. There comes a time when, no matter how kind and forgiving you are, you must choose yourself. Nor is it you must choose peace over pain, dignity over constant disappointment, and strength over weakness. Walking away quietly without creating noise or drama shows that you have decided to stop giving chances to those who misuse your goodness and your patience. When you cut someone off silently, you are not seeking revenge or trying to hurt them. You are simply protecting your heart from the repeated wounds they might cause. Nor is it you are drawing a line, saying to yourself and to the world that you value your own well-being. Nor is it that you will not allow yourself to be treated in a way that breaks you down. It is easy to stay in toxic situations or relationships out of fear of what people might say or because you feel guilty. Nor is it but cutting people off silently means you have reached a level of inner strength where you no longer need to explain yourself to anyone. Nor is it you know deep down that protecting your emotional and spiritual health is more important than pleasing people who do not care about your feelings. Silent disconnection is a quiet, dignified exit. It does not involve harsh words, angry messages, or public confrontations. It is done for your own peace, not to prove a point or to gain attention. In fact, it is the opposite. You are choosing to walk away with grace, without causing further harm, without adding to the negativity that already exists. This is a form of emotional protection because it allows you to heal without reopening the wounds through endless arguments or explanations. It gives you the space to breathe, to reflect, and to move forward without carrying the heavy burden of constant conflict. It is important to understand that cutting someone off silently does not mean you hate them. On the contrary, you may still pray for them, wish them well, and hope that they find the right path. But you know that their presence in your life brings more harm than good. You recognize that their words, actions, or behavior affect your heart in ways that disturb your peace and distance you from your true purpose. And because of this, you choose to distance yourself, not with bitterness, but with wisdom. It is an act of self-love to say, I forgive, but I will no longer allow this person to disturb my life. It is an act of strength to deciding I will no longer be available for the same pain again and again. This silent cutting off is also a way of setting boundaries that are necessary for your growth and happiness. Without these boundaries, people may continue to take advantage of your kindness, stepping over limits that should not be crossed. And each time you allow that, you lose a little of your peace, your confidence, and your emotional energy. By walking away silently, you are building a wall of protection around your heart, one that keeps negativity out while keeping your inner world safe and pure. You are preserving your energy for what truly matters: your faith, your family, your goals, and your connection with the Almighty. Moreover, nor is it cutting people off silently helps you avoid unnecessary drama and gossip. When you create noise about why you are leaving someone's life, it often leads to more conflict, more hurt, and more people getting involved in matters that should remain private. Silence, on the other hand, allows you to exit quietly, leaving everything in the hands of the Almighty. He knows the truth of what you have endured, and He will take care of the rest. Nor is your job is not to convince others of your reasons, but to protect your heart and your peace. Silent cutting off reflects deep trust in the one who sees all and knows all. It shows that you do not need to justify yourself, because your intention is pure and your heart is clear. In the end, cutting people off silently is not an act of cruelty. It is an act of mercy. Mercy for yourself and even for the other person. You save both sides from further harm. You give yourself the gift of peace, and you leave the door open for healing, reflection, and perhaps better relationships in the future. It is a powerful reminder that sometimes, the most dignified response to harm is not to react, but to quietly walk away and protect what matters most in your heart, your peace, and your connection with your Creator. Forgiveness in the heart is one of the most beautiful and powerful qualities a person can have. It brings light to the soul and peace to the mind. When you forgive, you are freeing yourself from the heavy chains of hatred, anger, and resentment. You are choosing to let off the burden that comes from holding on to past pain. Forgiveness is not for the one who hurt you. It is first and foremost for yourself. It allows your heart to heal, to soften, and to remain pure. It keeps you from falling into the darkness of bitterness and revenge. It is an act of worship that pleases the Almighty. Nor because He loves those who forgive others just as they hope to be forgiven by Him. Nor is it But it is very important to understand that forgiveness does not mean you must keep allowing someone to harm you over and over again. Nor is it There is a big difference between forgiving someone in your heart and giving them unlimited access to hurt you repeatedly. Nor is it Forgiveness means you have let go of the desire to punish, that you no longer wish harm upon the one who wronged you. Nor is it and that you are leaving their matter to the Almighty, trusting Him to deal with them as He sees fit. Nor is it but protecting yourself from further harm is part of valuing the life and dignity that your Creator has given you. It is part of being responsible for your own emotional and spiritual well-being. Some people believe that if they truly forgive, they must continue to engage with the person who harmed them. They must continue to give them chances, and they must keep trying to fix what is clearly broken. But this is not what forgiveness requires. Forgiveness is about cleansing your heart, not about placing yourself in harm's way time and time again. You can forgive someone and still decide that it is best to keep your distance. You can forgive and still set firm boundaries. You can forgive and still choose to walk away. These are not signs of a hard heart, they are signs of wisdom, strength, and self-respect. When you tolerate repeated harm in the name of forgiveness, you risk harming yourself. You risk losing your peace, your sense of self-worth, and even your ability to trust others. You risk allowing the pain to harden your heart over time, because repeated hurt makes it difficult to keep the heart pure and soft. The Almighty does not ask you to stay in situations that damage your soul. He does not ask you to sacrifice your inner peace just to prove that you have forgiven. On the contrary, He asks you to act with wisdom, to protect the blessings He has given you, and to avoid situations that could lead you into sin, anger, or despair. Forgiveness is an inner decision, a choice you make between yourself and your Creator. It does not require an announcement. It does not require the other person to even know that you have forgiven them. Nor is it and it certainly does not require you to keep allowing them into your life if all they bring is harm. Nor sometimes the greatest test of forgiveness is whether you can let go of the hurt in your heart while still making the difficult decision to walk away. It takes strength to forgive, but it takes even greater strength to forgive and at the same time protect yourself from further harm. By refusing to tolerate repeated harm, you are not being harsh or unforgiving. You are recognizing that some people are a test in your life. And part of passing that test is knowing when enough is enough. Part of the test is learning to say, I forgive you, but I will no longer allow you to disturb my peace. I forgive you, but I will no longer stand by and let you continue to hurt me. This is not pride or arrogance, this is self-respect. This is valuing the heart that the Almighty blessed you with and choosing to protect it from those who do not appreciate it. True forgiveness brings freedom. It allows you to move on without bitterness. It allows you to pray for the one who wronged you without hatred. but it also allows you to make choices that honor your worth and protect your well-being. It allows you to say no to repeated harm, because you understand that your peace, your dignity, and your connection to the Almighty are too precious to be sacrificed. And in doing so, you are not only protecting yourself, but also giving the other person a chance to reflect on their actions and perhaps change for the better. Forgiveness is vital, but it does not mean becoming a target for repeated harm. It means letting go of the pain while walking away with dignity and trust in the Almighty's justice. The Almighty sees every moment of your silence, every tear that falls in private, every struggle you face to hold your tongue when your heart is aching to respond. He sees the effort it takes to restrain yourself when you are provoked, when you are insulted, or when someone wrongs you in a way that cuts deep. That silence is not lost, and it does not go unnoticed. The world may not see it. People around you may misjudge your silence as weakness, nor is it or they may think that you do not know how to speak up. But the Almighty knows the truth of your heart. He knows that your silence is not because you are unable to respond, but because you have chosen to rise above. You have chosen patience over anger, calm over chaos, and peace over conflict. This choice, made purely for His sake, carries great reward. Each time you hold back your words, each time you choose not to react with harshness, each time you swallow your pride and remain silent in the face of harm, you are earning reward beyond what you can imagine. Your restraint is written for you, your patience is recorded, and the Almighty promises that no good deed, no act of self-control will ever be wasted. The silence that you maintain out of trust in Him is more powerful than 1,000 words spoken in anger. Nor is it it reflects your faith that He is the best of judges, that He is the best of planners, and that He will deal with those who wronged you in the way that is most just and most perfect. Silence in the face of harm is not easy. It requires strength of character, deep faith, and sincere reliance on the Almighty. When you are silent, you are placing the matter entirely in His hands. You are saying, with your actions, I trust you, O my Lord, to take care of this. I trust you to defend me better than I could ever defend myself. I trust that your justice is far greater than anything I could achieve by reacting, and this trust is beloved to Him. The patience you show in these moments draws you closer to Him, earns you His mercy, and protects you from falling into sin. Because often, when we react in anger or frustration, we say or do things that we regret later. But by choosing silence, you protect your heart from guilt, and you protect your soul from harm. There is great wisdom in staying silent and leaving matters to the Almighty. He sees the unseen. He knows the truth behind every word spoken against you, every action intended to hurt you. He knows who is sincere and who is not. He knows who has harmed you, even if they try to hide it. And because of this, when you choose to remain silent and patient, you allow His plan to unfold in the most beautiful way. You allow His justice to be seen. Many times, you will witness how the truth becomes clear without you having to say a single word. You will witness how those who tried to harm you end up harming only themselves. And you will witness how your silence brings you honor, respect, and peace, while their wrongdoing brings them disgrace. The Almighty rewards not only the silence itself but the intention behind it. When you remain silent to avoid argument, to keep your heart pure, or to protect others from harm, that intention is written for you. When you stay silent because you fear falling into sin, because you want to uphold your dignity, because you seek the pleasure of your Lord, all of that is part of your reward. The reward for patience is immense, nor is it the reward for restraining your anger, your tongue, and your desire to retaliate is something that only the Almighty can fully give. And His reward is always far greater than anything we could seek by defending ourselves. Remember that silence is not empty. It is filled with trust, with faith, with strength. It is a form of worship when done for the right reasons, and the Almighty, in His infinite mercy and knowledge, sees it all. He sees the battles you fight within yourself to stay calm. He sees the pain you endure when you are wronged, and He promises that nothing of it will be wasted. So never think that your silence is in vain. Never think that because people do not see your patience, it has no value. The one who matters most sees it, and He will reward it in ways that will fill your heart with joy, both in this world and the next. Walking away silently is one of the most powerful steps you can take for your personal growth and your journey to the Creator. When you choose to walk away without creating noise, without causing harm, and without seeking revenge, you are choosing to prioritize what truly matters. You are deciding that your peace, your dignity, nor is it, and your connection with the Almighty are more valuable than winning arguments or proving yourself right in the eyes of people. It takes wisdom and strength to turn away from negativity, to resist the pull of conflict, and to quietly distance yourself from what holds you back. In that silence, you create space for reflection, for healing, and for progress. You free your mind from unnecessary distractions and allow your heart to focus on what will truly benefit you in this life and the next. When you walk away silently, you are no longer trapped in cycles of hurt, drama, and bitterness. You are no longer spending your time and energy on those who seek to pull you down or disturb your peace. Instead, you begin to look inward. You begin to see what areas of your character need improvement. You recognize your own weaknesses and strengths. You give yourself the chance to work on your patience, your humility, your gratitude, and your sincerity. You begin to ask yourself the important questions: am I living to please people or to please my Creator? Am I focusing on what will bring me closer to Him? Walking away silently gives you the clarity to answer these questions honestly and to take steps toward becoming the person you were meant to be. The noise of conflict often drowns out the voice of the soul. It clouds the heart and distracts it from its true purpose. But silence opens the door to inner peace. It allows you to reconnect with your Creator without the burden of anger or frustration weighing you down. When you walk away silently, you are turning your back on what harms you and turning your face toward the one who can heal you. You are choosing to trust Him to handle what you have left behind. You are placing your affairs in His hands, knowing that His justice, His mercy, and His wisdom are far greater than anything you could achieve by staying and fighting battles that are not worth fighting. Personal growth happens when you stop wasting your energy on things that do not add value to your life. It happens when you choose to let go of grudges. When you choose to forgive in your heart, and when you decide to move forward with grace. Walking away silently helps you do exactly that. It keeps you from becoming consumed by negativity. It keeps you focused on your goals, your faith, and your responsibilities. It reminds you that your journey in this world is short and that every moment spent in unnecessary conflict is a moment taken away from building your relationship with your Creator. Each time you choose silence and walk away, you are taking a step closer to Him. You are proving, through your actions, that His pleasure means more to you than winning the approval of people. Moreover, silent withdrawal teaches you discipline. It trains your soul to seek peace rather than chaos. It teaches you to rely on the Almighty rather than on your own ability to control every situation. It teaches you to value your time, your heart, and your energy. And through that discipline, you grow stronger. You become more aware of your purpose, more mindful of your words and actions, and more connected to the one who created you. You begin to see that true strength lies not in how loudly you can argue, but in how quietly you can walk away with dignity and trust in your Lord. Walking away silently is not a sign of defeat. It is a sign of victory over the self. It shows that you have conquered the desire to retaliate, the desire to prove a point, the desire to be seen and heard for the sake of pride. It shows that your focus is no longer on the small matters of this world, but on the greater journey that leads to the Almighty. And as you walk away in silence, you will find that your heart becomes lighter, your mind clearer, and your path brighter. The distractions fall away, and what remains is your sincere effort to grow, to improve, and to draw near to the one who sees all, knows all, and rewards all. Walking away silently is not the end of anything meaningful, nor is it It is the beginning of a path that leads to true success in this life and eternal success in the next.